All right, welcome back for your Do Now. I hope you figured it out. You did well. If not, don't worry. I'm going to teach it to you now. We're continuing to work with two variables, independent and dependent variables. We are going to use those to create graphs later on. So if you look at your notes, and please be taking notes. Some of you still don't turn in your notes. Please do it, either on Google Docs, typing it, or on paper. All right, our goal for today is to graph. So that's what I'm going to be checking for today. Your exit ticket might look a little funky. I did my best to still see your graphs, even though it's on a computer. So our key point for today is about graphing. When graphing, an equation the x-axis, remember that is our horizontal one, the x-axis represents the independent variable. I'm going to shorten it IV. And the y-axis represents, you guessed it, the dependent variable, or dv. Okay, so what does this mean? You have x and you have y, right? So we're going to be using these two things. They're not always going to be x and y. It depends on our variable. It depends on our story. In terms of your do now, it was talking about number of packages and total beverages. So the independent one, the one that you get to decide, is going to be your horizontal, your x-axis, and your dependent one is going to be your y-axis. Now let's see what this looks like in a problem. Zoe is collecting books to donate. She started with 3 books, that's important, and then collected 2 more books each week. Create an equation, okay, and a graph that represents the total number of books Zoe has collected from week 0 through 4. All right, so what are my 2 variables? That's always my first step, finding my 2 variables. First, I'm going to circle my independent one. So I have books each week, and I have total number of books. Which one would be independent? The number of weeks, the ones I get to decide, or my total books? Well, I don't really get to decide my total books. My number of weeks makes more sense. So I'm going to just circle weeks and label it W because that's my independent variable. Now my other one, my total number of books. How will I figure out my total number of books? Well, it depends on the week. So it's my dependent variable. So I am going to put a box around that one, and it should be B. Let's go with W and B. All right, now it's asking me for an equation. Now an equation would be great, but I'm going to create a table first just to help me think about how would I figure out my total number of books. The information I found that was helpful is she started with 3 books, and then she added 2 more books each week. So let's see. After 0 weeks, how many books would she have? Well, she started with 3, so even after a week passes, she'll still have 3 books. So this was my weeks, this was my books. After 1 week, how many books would she have? Well, she started with 3, 1 week has passed, so she added on 2 more. So now she has 5. I did 3 plus 2. How about after 2 weeks? Well, 2 weeks have passed. That means she's already collected 4 books, but she started with 3, so 3 plus 4 is 7. So it was 3 plus 2 times 2. Moving on to 3 weeks. Added on 2 more books, that would be 9. 4 weeks, it would be 11. So my equation, my books always equaled 3 plus 2 times however many weeks I had. So 2W, or 2 times W. I can always go back and check this and look at my weeks. So when my weeks was 3 plus 2 times 3 equals, well, that's 6, plus 3 is 9. Same for my 4 weeks. 3 plus 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So that is how I found my equation. B equals 3 plus 2W. Or you could do 2W plus 3, doesn't really matter, because you can add either way. Now for the exciting part on what you're really going to be tested on today, graphing. So how am I going to graph this and this onto this graph right here? Well, my key point said that my x-axis is going to be my independent variable. Which one was my independent? Well, my weeks. So this x-axis right here, my horizontal line is going to be my weeks. I'm not going to write x. It actually represents something new this time. It's going to be weeks. So what is my y-axis going to be? Well, my books, because that was my dependent variable. So this is always 0, 0. I'm going to have to plot the points. 0, 3, 1, 5, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 11. Now you can see why I didn't jump straight to my equation. I actually created this table because this table represents my ordered pairs, the ones that I'm actually going to plot on this graph right here. So let me see, I have to go all the way up to 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make each of them worth 2. So this will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and this will be half each time. Okay, now let's look here. Well, it just 0 through 4, so that's easy. I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so 0, 3. 0 doesn't tell me any to go to the right at all. It just tells me to go up to 3. Next one, 1, 5. I go to the right first, and then I go up to 5. Next one, 2, 7. I go right to the 2. I go up to the 7. 3, 9. Right 3, up 9. And 4, 11. 4, up to 11. Now I want you to notice that these dots, I know it's not perfect because I did it with my hand, it's not on a computer, they should connect into a straight line. Very good. All right, so your goal today is to first find your independent and dependent variables. Then you're going to get to fill out a table with an equation so that you can use that table then to graph. Okay, so your x-axis is going to be what? Independent variable. Your y-axis is going to be your dependent, because your y depends on what my x is, okay? All right, you got this. I can't wait to see all your work. Go slide by slide, don't skip any, and good luck.